What's happening, financial coaches? It's Peter here. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to talk to you today about financial coaching jobs and what is available right now. And the reason I was inspired to talk about this right now is that because of my work history, I tend to get a lot of solicitations for financial coaching jobs. Kind of ebbs and flows a little bit, but I have gotten some emails recently about jobs, just kind of form letters to people who have certain credentials, like the AFC in particular. If you have chartered financial consultant, I think that's from the American University, some of the other ones, CFP, you'll probably get some solicitations for these. But the market also tends to vary a little bit. Sometimes there are a lot of financial coaching jobs, sometimes there aren't. And so what I wanted to do was share with you some of the financial coaching jobs that I have seen recently. Some of these might have been sent to me, but I went to try to find the actual listing for them. Hopefully I have a selection here of a variety of jobs across the country, maybe slightly different roles and at slightly different companies. And what I thought I would do here is not only share with you the job and enough information that if you're interested in it, you can go and find it, find the listing, apply to it. I will also try to give you some commentary, some thoughts about the job that aren't obvious in the description. And that may be because of some of the language in the job description or the organization that it's with or the company it's with. I might not have any insights, and these are just my guesses. So please don't hold anything that I say, especially if it's negative or maybe a little bit skeptical, against the job listing itself. You certainly apply if it seems interesting or in your wheelhouse and go from there and do your due diligence about finding out about the job specifically. So I'm going to pull in one here and expand that out. So these are some listings that I found on Indeed, and this is a holistic financial coach, Equitable Advisors. So it's part of Equitable. They're a large financial services organization, San Antonio, Texas. What's interesting about this is $28,000 to $125,000 a year. Equitable Advisors is more of a financial planning organization, full financial services. Yeah, you can see there. Bachelor's degree required. What kind of is not a red flag, but something that's really curious to me is this $28,000 to $125,000 a year seems to me to suggest that this is going to be a commissionable position and lots of benefits. You want to make sure that some of these benefits are there. All right. Wealth management firm, proven track record in the industry. And let's just go down here and find the Equitable Advisors coaching description. Okay, so I'm just scrolling through this and I don't see anything specifically about coaching. It seems like we're driven by our mission to help clients secure their financial well-being, providing them with confidence. Seems to me this is a financial advisor position, but it might not be licensed yet. So my guess is that you would come in on the track to become a financial advisor. They will put you through the training. This is probably going to be some base salary. That's the $28,000 or some sort of draw, and then selling financial products, investment accounts, those types of things, insurance, to get you up to that top number there. I'm glad that they don't say unlimited. It's never unlimited. But I don't see anything here about helping people identify certain goals, needs, and working with them over periods of time and then getting compensated on the hourly basis or something. So this seems to be holistic financial coach, probably the coaching discipline, but on a track to actually do financial planning, financial advising. All right, let's take a look at this one. Senior financial coach, bilingual Korean. This one grabbed my attention because it's in Koreatown, Los Angeles. I am Korean by birth, although I don't speak any Korean, and because I was adopted, I don't know any Korean. $24 to $28 an hour full time, Koreatown Youth and Community Center. So a couple things strike me about this is that, one, you'd have to be in LA because I'm sure they want someone on site. You probably have to be fluent in Korean, especially when you start talking about financial concepts. It can't be too loose. You've got to be pretty tight with your communication so that you're not misleading people or giving them wrong impressions. Sometimes you're talking about something that's very specific, a specific rule about how to get an account or forgiveness or something like that. But what I like about this is that it's going to be very niche-y, and if you are Korean and fluent in Korean and English, potentially, then you will probably be really qualified for this, and certainly if you can learn some of the financial services stuff. Let's see here. Non-speaking Korean. Okay, reporting to CEDS coordinator responsible for specific economic development programs. What I really like about this is very much a financial coaching educator job. It pays like that. $28 an hour is what, $56,000-ish a year. So it's not a lot of money, but it looks like they do have some benefits. And what I would say is that this is probably going to be pretty fun, pretty low pressure. There isn't probably going to be any selling, promote financial coaching and asset building programs throughout the community. So it's very much a charitable type of community program, but pays like that. But I really do these because you're not necessarily pressured to get a license and some of these other things that if you were to go to a large financial services company, they might want you on a track to becoming a wealth advisor or something on those lines. So I really like this. And the other thing that I really like is that, especially when I've worked within the Korean community or some of the other communities, they don't necessarily have a lot of representation there for help, whether it's estate planning or legal or financial. And so a lot of these people are working with poor information. And so I really like seeing the idea of someone being able to come in with specific techniques, tips and tricks, and helping some of these people. And so if you do speak Korean, and even have a VITA, and are in LA, this could be a great role for you if you're looking for something in the financial coaching world. So I really dig that. All right, so I am going to pull up the next one here, and let's see what we got. All right, so this is a financial well-being coach, small business, Operation Hope, St. Cloud, Minnesota. So if you're up in the Minnesota area, this could be good for you, $58,000 to $60,000. So pretty tight range there. So I expect this to be a $60,000 job because it's probably just going to be salaried. Again, I'm showing you most of these are not going to be remote. I don't think any of these, maybe except for one of these job openings, was a remote position. Hope Program Operations, nonprofit organization, small business coach to join Operation Hope, bring entrepreneurial expertise and commitment to empowering others. As a coach, they'll guide aspiring and existing small business owners, offering tailored one-on-one support, sharing invaluable knowledge, tools, and resources. Okay, this is not going to necessarily be personal financial coaching. This looks like it is maybe sponsored or granted by even by the Small Business Association, something like that. But basically, you are going to be coaching small businesses. And if you have had a small business in the past, maybe a sole proprietorship, an S Corp, an LLC, or if you've even worked in one, then you probably have some pretty good information. I've owned a few over my life, and so I'm sure you're going to have very practical questions from the organizational structure of the business. How do you want to incorporate, or even if you do, how do you bookkeep? How do you do taxes? How does tax filings differ from individual filings? And what about if I have shareholders or other business partners? What are my responsibilities on the tax, or how do the taxes differ? How do I hire employees and do payroll and pay those taxes, and et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of things that are specific to small businesses. And this seems, not only are you maybe coaching on the specifics of small business, but you are also coaching on how they should be running their small business. Obviously, marketing is important. Sales are important. How you depreciate assets. It could be whatever, right? So ability to deliver 8-week business development programs is assigned throughout the year. So it looks like they have some of their own training programs and resources. So bachelor's degrees preferred, 2 years work experience in the financial services industry. So what I like about this, and I'm not familiar with Operation Hope, is that to me, they are looking to encourage small business ownership or help the people that are small business owners flourish there. So really interesting job position there in the financial coaching space. So I dig that. Let's take a look at this one. This is a financial well-being coach. This one looks like it might be a little bit more standard. Marsh McClellan Agency. I think they are actually Conshohocken, the Native American names, in PA, Pennsylvania. So financial well-being coach. That title right there tends to tell me that it's more of a coaching role. And Marsh McClellan, I think they're like a staffing agency. So this actually may be for another company for their role. So they may be going through someone to help them find something. Financial well-being coach utilizes analytical talents to provide investment advice to participants from our current group retirement plan clients and will help individuals reach their retirement goals. Okay, I can't tell you if it's Marsh McClellan or not, but what it sounds like is this is a 401k company, a company that implements the retirement plans like a Fidelity or a John Hancock or Oppenheimer or something like that, has the retirement plans with companies, and what they want to do is they want to hire on staff as a financial coach to help provide investment advice to those people. So again, this is going to be a little bit more of a hybrid, maybe a little bit more of straddling the fence between a financial coach and a financial advisor. Pre-scheduled virtual one-on-one financial coaching sessions, manage and providing investment advice and financial recommendations to participants who are enrolled in the company's group retirement plan. So it sounds like it's going to have to be a licensed role. So you're probably going to have a series 6 or 7, I'm guessing, and maybe a 63 or 66 on top of that. Conducting business on the rules and regulations of FINRA. So certainly have to do that. 401k or financial services experience. All right, 65 or 66 licenses required. Okay, so as expected here. So what I would say is that you're going to have to get your 65 or 66 license. They are both much easier, in my opinion, than a 7 or a 66. The 65 is going to be easier than the 66. I guess you could probably infer that by the numbers, but it's not going to be a super hard license to get. However, applicable base salary range, 61 to 115. When you have a salary range that is basically X and 2X, what's the difference here? The difference is how much product are you selling. So it is a licensed role, and it's going to be more of a financial advisor role, but they're labeling it financial coach. So this is one of those things where the red flag, not because of the role, but to you, is if you think you're just going to be able to go into the role and just talk about financial coaching and behavioral issues and maybe get people excited about money and kind of on a path to saving and this type of thing. That's not necessarily the deliverable they want out of this role. They want you to save assets that might be rolling out from the 401k plan into an IRA, and have those be put into a rollover IRA with them, or helping them look at some of the other assets they might have outside and bring those on board to the company. And that's going to get you off of the $61,000 compensation closer to this $115,000 compensation. And so it is going to be a financial advisor role, but maybe brought in, not under the guise, but with a little bit less of a sales push of a financial well-being coach. And part of that is probably going to be because they are going to have to do stuff with a fully licensed advisor, a 7 and 66 advisor, in order to get there, that you wouldn't be able to do on your own. So you're a paralegal to a lawyer in some ways, you're coach to a financial advisor, and so that's what this role is. So if you are thinking about a role as a financial advisor or as a financial representative or wealth advisor or asset manager or portfolio manager, these kinds of roles can be very good because they basically get you there. You get all the requisites done, like the licenses and stuff, but you also learn along the way with a little less pressure. All right. Next one, financial stability coach, United Way of Bar County in Columbus, Indiana. I'm not sure exactly where that is. $46,000 to $56,000 a year. Tells me it's a salaried position, maybe with a bonus or production bonus, but it's not going to be necessarily a sales role. No real commission there, and I don't know if you will need even licenses for this. And also, when the role is something like $50,000 a year, it tells me they're taking a flyer on it, either adding it to their budget. Maybe they got a grant to provide for this role. It is what it is. If you go in and you're like, listen, I make $80,000 now, I really need 70, they don't have it. It's a $50,000 role. All right. The Avenues to Opportunity coach will lead the implementation of the United Way of Bartholomew County's Avenues to Opportunity program, focusing on participants who are employees of Columbus Regional Health. Okay, this role is designed to support participants in achieving family stability, improving their health and well-being, and advancing their financial success. This position will work to enhance job retention, productivity, and career growth by providing coaching and support, helping participants set and achieve meaningful goals and addressing barriers that hinder their progress. Okay, so my guess on this, and like I said, I could probably go through all of these, read every detail, and probably maybe miss the mark on exactly what this is. But United Way has this Avenues to Opportunity program. This sounds like a more strict financial coaching rule to me. You can see down here SMART goals, which I hate, but you know how I feel about that. Performance targets, communicating challenges and progress, listening and understanding. But basically right here is where it just says like meaningful goals, addressing barriers. And I think the whole point of this role is to help people make progress, feel like they have gotten help, they're not paying out of pocket, and they are finding that the charity or their organization or company or employer is investing in them. And so the hope here is helping participants who are employees of Columbus Regional Health, so you'll be working with a limited pool of participants, to achieve family stability and financial success to facilitate retention, productivity, and career growth. So what this is saying to me is Columbus Regional Health wants people to stop leaving. They want people to stop leaving by helping them get financially healthier, happier, and a financial coach can certainly help them do that. I have no problems with this. A company that says, hey, we want to invest in our people, 100%. That's why I built Expedition Money, so that companies that didn't really have an avenue to subscribe to a large program or certainly hire a financial coach to go in and be a point of contact and a point of help for people, that they could still do it, because Expedition Money is available for as little as $30 a month. I actually really like this. This is a role that, and again, it depends if you can live on $50,000 a year, but it looks like there are benefits included there. So I thought I saw 401k matching, dental, and health and vision. So it sounds like you'll be doing kind of the traditional financial coaching, setting goals, helping people break through barriers, working on behavioral issues, whatever. And it's going to be $50,000 a year. Again, I'm thinking you're going to have to be on site. Yep. Relocate before starting work. Columbus, Indiana. So if you're in Indiana, maybe this is worth checking out. But I like this. I like this role because it's actually exactly one of the roles that I have talked about in some of my other videos, where if you want to get into financial coaching on your own as an independent financial coach, why not take a job like this that does more peer coaching You learn the role, you learn what people are actually looking for, how to engage with them, your cadence of how many appointments you can take, your communication, get paid $50,000 a year with benefits, and then you can go out on your own. I really like that one. That was a good one. So good on you, Indiana. All right, let's see. Financial Opportunity Coach, Central Missouri Community Action, Lynn, Missouri, $19 an hour full-time. Again, this sounds a little bit like pure financial coaching. Not a lot of money here. $40,000, $38,000 a year. Let's see. Opportunities for full-time financial opportunity coach, needed to work in Lynn with some travel to Fulton, California, Missouri, not California, to provide direct services to CMCA members. So I'm not sure who those members are, but some organization or company responsible for financial counseling and coaching to engage, teach, and motivate members in regards to personal finances. The financial coach is expected to provide services in a one-on-one counseling format. However, the coach may also conduct classes and workshops. Good, that's cool. Budget, credit building, banking, with family success coaches and resource coordinators to achieve goals and obtain services. Okay, again, just the last one. This sounds a little bit more like pure financial coaching with some financial education, which I really love, because just doing financial coaching can get tiring. Just doing financial education can get tiring. But when you have a little bit of both, you can mix it up and I think enjoy that a little bit more. Pay is $19 an hour. That's also a good sign that it's a pure financial coaching job, because coaching doesn't make a lot of money sometimes. Associate's degree in finance, accounting, business, or related fields, so you'll probably need some sort of background in finances to get their attention here. 8-hour workday, Monday through Friday, which is great. CMCA is part of a national network of community action agencies. So it's some sort of agency working with the people that are members of this agency. I'm assuming maybe a little lower income, but doing counseling, coaching, working with people one-on-one. I think this is another great opportunity. Again, not a lot of money. I'm not sure where Lynn, Missouri is, but $38,000 here plus benefits. But depending on what the cost of living is in this area, could be a really good position to be paid, to work a regular schedule, to do really pure financial coaching. A good opportunity there. Notice what I'm saying here is that I'm not like looking at $38,000 and being like, that stinks. Because in financial coaching, and I've been on both sides of it, being one paid for it and then being on the hiring end for it, and knowing that we're paying $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, sometimes $70,000 for a financial coach, and sometimes knowing that one of the financial coaches is never going to be revenue positive for us, that it's going to be the other financial coaches that are going to create some slim margins to help us pay for someone who has a CFP or something like that, because financial coaching is a tough business, because you're working with usually people that have some needs or maybe not super high income and don't have a lot of money, and it's hard to get funding for it. So I'm looking at $38,000 and I'm saying, man, I remember having to pay that and wondering how much money we're going to lose on that role. All right, financial literacy coach lead, Lynn Housing Authority and Lynn, Massachusetts, $55,000 a year full time. Again, this is pretty good, but Massachusetts is pretty expensive. I don't know where Lynn is, but $55,000. I didn't see if it said benefits anywhere. All right, it may be in there. I'm not going to sweat that too much, but I just want to read the description here. The financial coach is an organized, outgoing, vibrant case manager working primarily with interest in Lynn residents. So you're working within a geographical region, developing a plan towards their goals towards attaining financial stability, one-on-one financial counseling, ongoing case management, budgeting, credit repair, savings, banking products, workshops. So some coaching, some education, overseas program growth, outreach and direction, ongoing support to consumer staff and others. Okay, with our United Way funders. So seems either part of or funded by United Way. Uses Salesforce software, probably for the CRM, which is what I used, and at least in the enterprise world. One-on-one financial coaching, developing budget, track outcomes, facilitate workshops. Okay. Personal finances, bachelor's degree, work experience in financial services is a plus, Microsoft Office skills. If you don't have Microsoft Office skills, I would definitely go online and find some classes, some Udemy classes or Skillshare, and just learn them. You really only need to know the core stuff to be considered very good on Microsoft Office. Okay, again, this one looks pretty good to me. In fact, it pays $55,000 a year. Massachusetts worries me a little bit. I don't know where Lynn is, but it's a more expensive place to live, but $55,000 a year. Again, I think that's actually really fair for a financial coaching program. It looks like there's probably 3 things that I would be aware of going into this. You're going to be doing some pure financial coaching, you're going to be doing financial education, but also some of the language here said to me that overseas program growth, outreach, and direction. Good and bad here. The good is that they're hoping maybe to have more financial coaches or counselors available to expand this program, to expand their reach. I would probably really look to do some of this digitally by doing some training, creating some online courses, those types of things, so that you can reach more people without necessarily having to hire a staff right away. But that can be intimidating for people who, especially if you don't have business building skills or project development skills, that just doing the role itself as financial coaching can be a lot. It can be overwhelming. But then to think about, hey, the business side of it, you're producing the service, but then you're also producing the back end business case for it, might be a little overwhelming. I think some of that will come organically, but you've got that kind of responsibility on top of it. I think this looks like a good role, really pure financial coaching for the people that want it, and a pretty good financial compensation as well. So let's pull up this one, and this one is Financial Educators, Synergy Financial Partners. I think they're a wealth management firm too. All right, the big red flag here, $65,000 to $500,000 a year, part-time, full-time, or internship. So sales role at some level, and even at a basic level, because it's $65,000 a year for a coach. You'd have to be a really well-funded organization with a lot of fraternal or nonprofit or discretionary money to be able to hire financial coaches at $65,000. I'm not going to be surprised to see something, and flexible schedule. So definitely sales role. Synergy Financial Partners, redefining financial planning. So they're a financial planning firm, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think what I just want to be clear of is that financial coach, I think, sometimes implies being paid to help people identify goals, meet objectives, change behaviors, become more successful, stable, those types of things. If there's a sales component with that, I don't have a problem with that. It just has to be clear to the people that you're working with that there may be a sales component to it. In fact, some people might like that, thinking, hey, I don't have to pay $100 an hour for a financial coach. I can still get the financial coaching, and if I do decide that I need life insurance or an investment product or something like that, that's how they're going to compensate, and I can do that, and maybe there's no pressure because I don't need that right away, and so I'm going to get the benefit of it because I'm going to get the service that I need, and I don't necessarily have to pay anything out of pocket. So that could be a perfectly fine arrangement, just as long as the people on the receiving end, your clients, your participants, understand what that arrangement is. Entrepreneurial opportunities for its associates, sales, positioning yourself as a leader in the financial services sector. Okay, why choose? All right, so this is company stuff here. Key responsibilities: identify potential clients and generate new leads, cultivate a passion for financial education, impact on its life, develop strategies to expand your personal business opportunities, understand customer needs. Okay, so this to me says you're going to be a licensed financial advisor. We are going to label you as a financial educator. And there can be a number of reasons for this. If you go to an organization and you're pretty new, and even if you have all the licenses and certifications of the wealth advisors, they may not give you the wealth advisor title. They're going to give you something that you're going to have to work up to. Financial educator is probably going to be a licensed sales role here, and it's going to be probably much more skewed to closing sales than it will be to financial coaching. But it's going to be like 90% financial advising and financial sales and 10% financial coaching service, because expected 5 to 40 hours a week, 5 hours a week for $500,000. Basically what they're saying here is you do your own schedule. We'll pay you commissions. That's right. It says it right there. We'll pay you commissions. So it doesn't matter. You work stupid little, get very little money. We'll pay you out of business that you bring in. Do I like this? Not particularly. I tell you what, but if you are a killer, you could start a business, you're a salesperson, you've got a lot of financial experience, you've got a lot of confidence, a lot, you can help people. You oftentimes are talking to people and you realize, hey, there's a product or something that they need to be in, and you're in the financial independence community or whatever, and you have a wide vocabulary of products and services that help people. There's different types of accounts that you can put money in, tax defer it, and pull it out as income, whatever, then this could be a good role for you, because you're not stepping in too high. You're not necessarily taking assets under management. I doubt at this time, but you probably have some unlimited upside. But as a financial coach role, I think you would have to be maybe looking at financial coaching, but thinking to yourself, man, I could make so much more money if I could sell this or this and that. Financial education coach, Urban League of Greater Southwestern Ohio. All right, Urban League is a pretty big organization nationwide, up to $50,000 a year full time. So this does at least smell like a pure financial coaching role. Cincinnati. My father's from Dayton, Ohio, and I always say Cincinnati, but he always said Cincinnati. So, I don't know, is that an Ohio thing or something? Good benefits, it looks like here. And let's take a look at the full-time position. So it's on-site, return to office kind of thing. Financial empowerment coach is a key figure in guiding low to moderate income individuals toward financial stability, wealth building, involves financial coaching, counseling, educational workshops, community partner engagement, event management, tax assistance, program coordination. Wow, man, a lot of things. You're looking for a candidate to push our mission forward. Okay, so it sounds, Urban League is a nonprofit, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but Urban League is a nonprofit. I think they do a lot of fundraising. A lot of rich people support that organization. That brings in some funding that allows them to hire some people here. So you get the $50,000 plus your benefits, which is really nice. This looks like it's a little bit of everything from financial coach to counselor to educator. You're probably gonna have to do some public speaking, networking, some business events, press the flesh, thank your big donors. Not a problem, doesn't, unless you're really introverted. I'm an introvert and I can still do these things, and I still would enjoy some of these things, but sometimes you're spending as much time thanking your donors as you are doing the work, and that's just just the necessary part of the business. Direct financial empowerment services, monitor and respond to incoming inquiries. Okay, this is person. So basically what they are trying to do here is work with the people who are struggling a little bit financially, probably on the information side as well, helping them get a little bit more stable. This is definitely sounds like the bread and butter financial coaching that most people want to do, envision themselves doing. And what I really like about this, you're going to make $50,000 a year plus your benefits. When you target low to moderate income individuals, often the people that are ready to do it are the ones in debt, the ones that are struggling financially, and then they don't have money to pay you. And so the catch-22 of it is you want to help the people that need the most help, but sometimes they don't have the money to pay you, and so you're not building a business, right? Here, in this case, you get to work with these people, and you're collecting what I think is a pretty good paycheck for this kind of work. Engagement partner, engagement relationship management. So anyway, listen, the Urban League, I've never worked with them directly, but I have nothing but good things to say about them based on what I've heard. So I really like this. Again, if you're in Cincinnati, Ohio, Cincinnati certainly seems like a good role, especially if you want to build your own organization. But if you really want to experience true financial coaching in the nonprofit world, maybe even get some exposure to some of the big donors and make some good connections, I think this could be a great way to do it. Financial coach, Greater Washington Urban League. Okay, I'm going to zip through this one pretty quick because I actually bet it's the same thing. It's just in Washington, D.C., $60,000 to $69,000. Again, I think it's probably just their adjustment for the cost of living in that area. Cincinnati might be cheaper than Washington, D.C., depending on where it is. It certainly could be. Cincinnati has some pretty affordable areas. Washington, D.C. has some pretty expensive areas. I lived in McLean, Virginia for 6 months for a project once. That was not a cheap area to be in. Okay, program helping assess their current. So I'm just looking at the stuff here. The description is slightly different, but education for up to 300 low to no income families. So you'll have kind of a portfolio, a case docket. So this is a little bit different, but it sounds like the same thing. And they want, what they want are certifications, which is not unique. So I think this is the same thing. They definitely want people who have some experience and have some background in this. So if this is your first foray into financial coaching and you don't have a certification, this is probably going to be a little harder to get. But the same thing, again, some connection with the Urban League there, a good kind of probably pure financial coaching role with a salary. All right, let's take a look at this one. This one is financial coach, Balance. Balance is a big financial wellness organization. I think they do a lot of stuff in the digital world. Phoenix, Arizona. I'm not sure if that's where they're based out of it. They absolutely might be. So Balance may be hiring financial coaches directly, $20 an hour, $40,000 a year, $41,000 a year, something in that neighborhood. It looks like they have some benefits here. 403B, that surprised me because I don't know if Balance is a nonprofit or not, but usually 403Bs are usually offered by nonprofits, but it's similar to a 401k, although they probably don't have a match there. Dental, health, life, paid holidays and time off, vision insurance. Okay, so the position of financial coach is responsible for answering questions, conducting coaching sessions via telephone, internet. You'll probably be working with people all over the country. Balance obviously is a national organization. They work with a handful of like technology companies and people who subscribe to the services. Okay, standard financial coaching stuff. So coaching duties, 90% coaching. Action plans, looks like that is your standard coaching stuff. Provide confidential referrals to appropriate vetted nonprofit organizations using our national online database. So administrative 10%, outbound phone calls for the purpose of follow-up or outreach, schedule appointments for clients, confirm appointments, represent Balance at community events, which could be great. Balance, I don't know anyone at Balance personally, but I haven't heard anything bad about them, and I love seeing companies in the financial wellness space. Competition in this space keeps people honest and healthy, and I don't know, shows maturity of a space too. So I like the fact that there are lots of companies in here, and Balance is one of the good ones. Lifting up to 30 pounds, all right, cool. But just remember, you have to do that with one hand. It's a curl. Follow procedures, associate's degree from accredited college, 1 or 2 years of experience. So a little less on the prerequisites here. Money coach required with 90 days of employment. I think that might be their designation. Like, I think maybe they don't call them financial coaches. They may call them money coaches. There's some other companies that do that too, but certification required 90 days of employment, compliance course required 90 days. I don't think any of this is going to be a problem, and I think they will give you probably time when you start to integrate that into your workday so that you can get those done. My guess is if it's on the 91st day, they're not going to get you out of there. Must be bilingual in Spanish. Okay, so I missed that one at the top level. I wish they had put that in the title there, but obviously they want someone in Spanish, which again, I speak a little Spanish, but not enough to consider myself fluent in it. So I like that. It's pretty clear that they are trying to reach a Hispanic audience as well. Location, San Francisco. I don't know if it said you have to be there. It's funny. It says Phoenix there and then it says location, San Francisco. So I'm not totally sure. This actually might be a remote. Oh, it says right there, remote. It's a remote position. So if this may be the one that I grabbed that was remote. So if you are looking for a remote financial coaching position and you speak Spanish, then then this is the one for you. The Spanish thing might be a little limiting. If you speak Spanish, you are in really good shape for that. If you don't, there's not much you can do about it. I don't think Rosetta Stone is going to get you there in the short amount of time that you probably need. This one is Financial Coach My Wealth Southwest Economic Solutions, Detroit, Michigan. I grabbed this one specifically because I'm from Detroit, Michigan, man. Soft spot in my heart for them. $39,000 to $46,000 a year. You know what? That used to be a great salary for Michigan. I'm not saying it's not. Depending where you live, a lot of houses in Michigan are still under $300,000 or thereabouts. 3 bedrooms are $2,500, $2,400 to rent. But Michigan and East Michigan in particular has had a resurgence and is a popular place. And so while I would have said 5 to 10 years ago, this would have been a great salary to live on. And if you wanted to live downtown Detroit and even buy a walk-up or something like that, you could live on this. It might be a little harder these days, but there are benefits here. It looks like it's nonprofit. Financial literacy services to participants both through one-on-one financial coaching as well as financial workshops. So coaching and education. Goals looks like very traditional financial coaching so far, by working in partnership with career coaches and other Detroit at Work staff to support job seekers and navigating and connecting to essential services to remove barriers. So I'm not sure if you're working with the unemployed specifically, or when you do, this is your partners for helping them find work. Will become an expert in understanding their career centers. Okay, so it looks like there's going to be maybe a lot of work with like job placement or job discovery here. Business administration, 1 year experience working programs, providing social services, 2 years of experience in presenting financial literacy skills preferred. Valid driver's license, looks like you have to go around the city potentially. Let's call it, you'd probably be on the upper range, $45,000, $46,000 here. I think this would be great. If you're in the Detroit area and you want to do what looks like a pure financial coaching and financial education type of work, maybe mostly with people who are looking for jobs and employment, this could be a really great role. I tell you what, if I were in Detroit right now, I would even be looking at that. It's not about the money so much, but just the impact that you can have, especially when people are in a situation, not like I've got a job and I'm trying to manage my money. If you're looking for a job, wow. You're talking about a very binary situations. No income, no job, versus having a job and having an income and then being able to do something with it. Really, you're talking about kind of some of those moments in life that are just life-changing. So, pretty cool. Financial coach, Urban League of Union County, Elizabeth, New Jersey. Part-time, that's interesting. Again, Urban League, this one might be exactly the same as some of those Urban League ones that I had shown you before. Very much financial coaching. I'm just trying to see here. Expected hours, no more than 20 hours per week. Work location in person. All right, so this one I grabbed just because we've already talked about the Urban League, Elizabeth, New Jersey. I'm not sure exactly where that is, but this is part-time. So if you are looking for something that just is going to get you out of the house, maybe you have kids that go to school during the day, but you want to be there before they leave. And when they come home, I don't know how flexible the time is. Sometimes I think that it's going to be based on when the clientele is available. But again, looks like they would pay you, and it's a way to maybe spend 20 hours a week getting that financial coaching experience that you need and want. And especially if you're doing AFC, a lot of this can count, right? They're finding the clients for you. You need 1,000 hours of practice, I think, is financial coaching. Dude, why not get it while you're getting paid? So that's it's a cool role there. Elizabethtown, New Jersey, I think. Is that what it was? Financial coach, Pathstone Corporation, Jackson Street, Anderson, Indiana. Again, another Indiana one here, part-time. Pathstone Corporation, I don't know them. They sound like a financial services organization. And I didn't see a salary right up here. So that kind of suggests to me that it might be a commission role. Provide guidance to low to moderate income families on financial behaviors, building assets. Okay, that sounds pretty coachy. Bachelor's degree, 5 years experience in financial coaching. Okay, proficient in technical and interpersonal skills. Okay, so if you have AFC or some of the certifications, I know that you can definitely say you had some of this. Bilingual Spanish and English preferred, although not required. Provide all the basic material related to the household's particular situation. This is goal setting. Okay, so very coach-like stuff so far. So it looks like you'll be working one-on-one, flexible hours, including evenings and weekends. So this is one of the things about financial coaching is that a lot of these people are working during the day. The financial coaching that I was doing, like I said, was a lot in the 5 position. So some executives, a lot of salaried people, they could talk during the day. You could have a call at 2:30 in the afternoon from their desk if they weren't in a meeting, or lunch at least. When you're working with hourly people, they don't necessarily have that opportunity. They don't have that flexibility. So a lot of times maybe it's only lunch break. They're calling from their car. They can only call you after work. So sometimes you have to work evenings and weekends because they just don't have flexibility during the workday, depending on what shifts they work. Position requires a minimum amount of travel. You have to receive this certification, so I'm sure they have some sort of like national organization, Neighborhood Works America Training Institute. So I'm sure it's like the neighborhood something, housing, I don't know, an educational certification or whatever it might be, but they have some of their own certification. I'm sure you can get that. Okay, did I totally miss the money part of this. I don't know. I don't know what they're paying, although Pathstone could certainly be a charity. Someone could look it up here, but it sounds like you're part of a government-funded or a nonprofit program. So I'm slightly confused about that, although I think I know how it works. But I think that other Indiana job was like $40,000 a year. So it sounds like to me that depending on how part-time it is, if it's 20 hours, it's half that. But another good way, it looks like, to do true financial coaching and get some of those practicum hours. And this is the last one here, certified financial coach. I pulled this one up. There are a lot of credit union jobs, pro and cons on them. I've worked for credit unions, I've worked with coaches from credit unions, so I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. Golden One Credit Union, I don't know them specifically. Sacramento, California, beautiful area, $68,000 to $70,000 a year. Sacramento, you can definitely live on that, but then if you want to live in a really nice area, could not be enough to. California is an expensive place to live. $70,000 a year, full time. So probably in the higher end of financial coaches, but let's just see here. It's exempt, so it'd be a salaried role, manager, financial education. This is the pay scale, certified reach financial goals, consultation classes, other avenues. So you're doing coaching and education. Everything here sounds a little bit like financial coaching, whole community financial workshops, growth and development of credit unions financial literacy program, content creation, promotion, and solutions. So you probably have to develop learning materials and educational videos, online courses, stuff like that. I'm trying to find the catch here. I'm just trying to see if they allude to it anywhere. Travel throughout California. All right, that's interesting. Okay, certification. Certified credit union financial counselor or similar. Okay, having read through this, I did not see it anywhere specifically, but my guess is here that, one, you have to get the certification. This is not necessarily the easiest certification to get, but it's certainly not hard. It does require a proctored exam. This is done by one of the parent organizations over credit unions, and I think they get this certification for free if you're a member of credit union, so that's why most of them want it. Certified credit union financial counselor, you kind of learn the ins and outs of credit unions. They're basically just small local banks, no matter how big they are, billions of dollars. Sometimes they want to think of themselves as much bigger, but they're lending institutions. And one of the things that I was looking for here is that in many of these, and I'm not talking specifically about this because I didn't see it here, although it might be buried somewhere here, but this may be the exception to the rule, but in most cases, these credit unions want you to also represent their products. And that's not a problem, and in many cases they disclose it. Looks like you're really doing kind of the coaching stuff here by the job description, but understand, because most credit unions are very small, even the big credit union, even the credit unions with $10 billion of assets being held within their walls, is a very small financial institution. I have been at financial institutions where my team's portfolio was tens of billions of dollars. My team and my 3 analysts, we were responsible for tens of billions of dollars. So we were responsible for more assets than a large credit union would even hold. I just want to bring that because in terms of scale, credit unions are usually very small. And so in that regard, you usually have to wear a lot of hats in a credit union, especially the small credit union where they just don't have the people. There are credit unions that are 1 to 3 people. There are some modest-sized credit unions that are like 10 to 50 people. A credit union with 1,000 people is the exception, not the rule. Anyway, I just bring this up because even if you are at those big credit unions, small credit unions, many times the financial coach role is also a licensed either deposit broker or sales role as well. You may have separate job responsibilities. So you may have to do a certain amount of coaching, or you're encouraged to do a certain amount of coaching, but you actually may have sales quotas separately, or your branch might. That being said, if you are in this hybrid role, it can be good because you can do the financial coaching, and then if you see a need for them to refinance their home or buy a car or something like that, you can help them, usually with the financing on that end. The catch of it, though, is that now you're in a role that is not truly clear to people that you're also in a sales role. So a lot of financial coaches like either having just the financial coaching role or just the sales role, but not necessarily both. What I would tell you, though, is that you can do that successfully. And if you are a really good financial coach, many times that will lead to more sales than you need. And if you're a really good salesperson, you might not have to do the financial coaching, or you might be able to partner up with someone who can bias themselves towards the financial coaching. You can bias yourself towards the sale. So there are endless limits there. But in general, these types of roles, the financial coaching roles at credit unions, tend to be a little bit of a hybrid role, officially or unofficially. I think this could be a good role, but at $70,000 for the financial coach role at a credit union, my guess is that there is some expectation of bringing in assets at a certain pace. I don't know what that would be, but opening deposit accounts, new lines of credit, those types of things. Just wanted to hit these up. These are all live roles as of today. I just grabbed them now. I pulled these off of Indeed. Some of them were emailed to me. Some of them were solicited to me, whatever. There are some that I just stripped out that were not. There were clearly sales roles, which I didn't think was necessarily the most interesting thing out there. But if you are looking for a financial coach job, and let me tell you, I built my channel trying to help people who are trying to build their own financial coaching business. It is really hard. There are a lot of people who will work their tail off, sink a lot of money into it, and then find themselves 4 or 5 years down the road making $30,000. I'm just telling you that if you want to do financial coaching, figure out if it's for you, you think it's for you, you're sure it's for you, think about this. Think about taking a $38,000 financial coaching job, a $50,000, a $70,000 financial coaching job, because sometimes that's going to be 2, 3, 4 times as much as you'll make on your own. It'll be far less stressful. You're not worrying about the intake. Some companies will put that on you. Go out and find the people. Go out there, do the financial education workshops, bring in some of these people into our program. So you're still going to be doing some of that, and you can really determine if this is going to be for you, if this is something you can build on your own and get paid and have health insurance and have a 401k, put a few dollars away for the future. Please, I beg of you, for 9 out of 10 of the people that are thinking about financial coaching as a job or as an entrepreneurial activity, please just go out and get the job. I started by being a paid financial coach, and then I went on my own as a financial coach, and I still struggled in the first couple of years. And so I had the benefit of seeing the economics of it and seeing the ins and outs of it and thinking about it and training and getting certifications on someone else's dime, on someone else's time for a while, and still stumbled many times on my own before I started getting my footing. So if you are thinking about it and you need the hours for AFC or other certifications, what a great way to do it. Get paid, be on someone's payroll, work with someone else's clients, take the stress off you, have a normal life, have a good job, have a reliable paycheck, work normal hours. This is the way I would do it, without exception, really. Hopefully you will find something interesting here. Look for a financial coach job in your neck of the woods, but hopefully that will get you started on the financial coaching business in a way that is responsible and eye-opening. I'll see you later.